Hey guys, Dando here for Torrent This Radio, and now I am joined on the line by a man who, after performing for almost a decade and forming a band with Silverchairs at Ben Gillies called Tamburlaine, he went on to become a household name after winning Australian Idol in 2008. He eventually split from his deal with Sony, but is back now with his new project, Buffalo Tales, and recently released his debut independent EP, Blood and Bones, which contains the single of the same name. I'm of course talking about none other than Mr. Wes Carr. Wes, thanks for your time, mate, and how's things?
Very well. How are you?
I'm always good, man. What's been happening today?
We just drove the long drive to Armidale, and it's been real.
Yeah.
I'm pretty tired.
Sounds like you're a busy man.
But yeah, it's good, mate.
You sound like a busy man. How'd the show go on Bondi last Sunday?
Well, yeah, I just had a baby. I just had a baby.
Yeah.
My wife just had a baby boy, and so I've just like 9 days ago. So I haven't really slept all week. So yeah, I'm sort of living in this kind of baby world haze, and then now I'm sort of off on tour on the weekend. So yeah, I can't feel my legs. I'm feeling good.
Who's going to get more spoilt this Christmas, you or your son?
Probably my son.
Okay.
Yeah, forever.
Do you think fatherhood's going to like impact your career in terms of like your spare time and songwriting?
I think it's going to enhance it, man. I've already got like 3 or 4 songs.
Beautiful.
About him. Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I never thought it would happen to me. I've always been that kind of guy that sort of, like a Rolling Stone that kind of flapping in the breeze. And I'd always sort of, land wherever I ended up. But lately I've been, it's been a very grounding experience, I suppose, having a baby and moving on to that kind of next phase that everybody either warns you about or speaks so glowingly about. So yeah, and I'm still speaking glowingly.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty awesome.
Have you had any sleepless nights yet?
Yeah, man, every night. It's like being on tour.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for a thing.
Oh no, of course
I'm
not.
so glad that he's got a lot of life into him. He's got some great lungs on him already, I can tell you now.
Beautiful.
So I'm glad that he's healthy and he can scream.
Yeah.
That's all I'm it's cool.
Could we have a Wes Carr family band in the future?
Yeah, that's right. He's got a good rock and roll voice on him already, so it's pretty awesome.
Axl Rose, yeah. How great has it been able to like perform now in front of people who like you, not just because you won Australian Idol?
Yeah, it's great, man. Like, I mean, look, I'm so grateful for what I've done in my career so far. I mean, I started off playing guitar in Adelaide, like, in my bedroom in Adelaide at 11, and I ended up in bands and toured the country a whole bunch of times now, and I played guitar with Paul Mac, and when I was 17, and that was wild, and got to meet some great people, and it's just been incredible ride. And then sort of doing the whole TV thing, which was really kind of weird for some people, I suppose. People were like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing that for, kind of thing. But it just sort of all was kind of made up to where I'm at now, and that's I sort of resented that for a while, to be honest, and kind of thought, like, what the hell am I doing? But really, it sort of made me kind of what I am today, I suppose. And my new band, Buffalo Tales, is it's just me. And when I say band, it's just a one-man band. It's just a new thing for me to kind of get my head around and sink my teeth in and be inspired by music again and get back to what I do the best and what I love, and that's songwriting and performing, and instead of kind of running around as this sort of Wes Carr character, which is sort of fun for a while, but I kind of started getting really sick and tired of people asking me about these sort of really personal questions, because all they ever wanted to talk about was sort of celebrity kind of stuff and sort of shallow kind of crap, and I was getting sick and tired of that. So I was just thought, well, how am I going to ever sort of be able to just kind of play my music again and have people sort of like it for what it is and not what they've been told what it is. You know, it's a big difference there. And so, you know, I kind of, that's basically it, really. I'm happy with what I'm doing now, and it's a very different show, and I think people would really dig it when they come along to the shows. It's a lot of people kind of coming along to sort of see me because you know, I'm that guy from that show. But then when they leave, they go, "Oh wow!" That was kind of like, I was so totally different to what I was expecting.
I know, right?
It's awesome. You know?
It's great. It's great to hear that you're having fun again, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, I'm having fun, and that's what it's all about, really. In the end, you know, it's just, it's kind of like as soon as I kind of decided to do this, I started writing again without kind of thinking about, you know, the big major label templates that you kind of they kind of give you, you know, when you sign to a major label. It's sort of like, well, you have to have this hit, and you have to, you know, get top 10 radio play and number one on iTunes and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, if you're not kind of doing it for the love of it, you become stale, and
job.
I think that's what happens to a lot of people that are signed to those sort of big labels, is that like they chase this sort of illusion, and you end up becoming sort of a caricature of your own self, you know, and that's exactly what I didn't want to be doing. So, you know.
Yeah, well, it's good, man.
I'm back doing what I want.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, well, you've released the track Blood and Bones. You say in the song, "We always want what we don't have today." What's something you want that you don't have yet?
Well, at the time I wrote that, it was about material. I was having a go at sort of people that have highly materialistic things. You know?
Yeah.
I was sort of almost like trying to say, you know, to like my friend, you know, she's an amazing person, but when she picks up one of those trashy magazines and reads about the Kardashians and how hot they look and all that sort of stuff, it's like, it's so boring.
Yeah.
And also just kind of like, she gets so hung up on the way she looks. And, you know, she spends copious amounts of money on the Botox and the hair extensions, and she's beautiful, whatever. She didn't have to do, you know, she wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And kind of comes out looking like Catwoman at the end of the day, you know. And it's sort of bizarre to kind of go, well, you know, you're beautiful, but because you've been told that, you know, you have to be a certain way to look at certain things, to be pretty and be accepted. And I was kind of trying to sort of get that across, like, you know, everybody wants what we don't have, you know. It's sort of as simple as that. You know, people who are thin want to be big and muscly. People who are fat want to be skinny. People who are, you know, and it should be just comfortable with what you've been given, you know. And I think that's sort of the simple sort of explanation for that lyric, you know. It was kind of, and I was flying around the world, and also it was a bit of a direct thing for me too. I was kind of flying all over the place. I was in Nashville when I wrote that song, and I was just kind of sick and tired of being on the road, and I was sort of a bit tired. I'd been on the road for 2.5 years, and I just kind of wanted to be back in Australia, and, you know, just kind of chilling out and having some time and, you know, being real again, and not kind of being the sort of person that I sort of felt like I was becoming, and it was sort of a bit sort of realistic for me. And so, you know, it was just, the whole song's about kind of going back and sort of regaining yourself again, I suppose. You know? Yeah,
that's exactly right. Yeah. Well, tell me about this infamous plane incident I keep hearing about, where you like made the plane turn around so you can get off or something.
Yeah. I got on a plane to go to Nashville for the, I don't know, third or fourth time, and I was just really tired and really exhausted, sort of playing, you know, all over the place and doing things and not being home enough and all that sort of stuff. And I just kind of, I ended up I boarded the plane, and I was on the tarmac, and I ended up looking out the window and thought, and as we started taxiing off, I went, well, first of all, I had a major panic attack, and then I kind of went, this could be the time. This is do or die now. Like, I either get off this plane now, or I live with the decision of going over and going through the whole humdrum of writing these songs that I don't want to write, and working with these people that I don't really feel right about working with, because they all want to write kind of these cheesy sort of radio songs that I didn't really align with, and it was all very much like I was kind of torn between who I really was and what people were telling me who I was, sort of thing. And so I just got up in a moment of madness or a moment of sanity and said to the stewardess, I need to get off this plane. How can I get off? And an international flight doesn't go down too well. But she could see in my eyes that I was pretty serious, and she and then all the camera phones came out. And then I sort of, I just kind of went, nah, that's it, I'm out of here. And the quad staff is so accommodating for me to do that, and they were really lovely. And they said, Wes, it's understandable, mate. And and they all got their photos, and I went back through customs, and I was really embarrassed, but I just got off that thing, and I just needed to, and as soon as that happened, the whole world opened up to me, really. It was like, as soon as I made that decision, it kind of spiraled into sort of all these different things, I got centered again. I got back to kind of what I wanted to do, and not sort of riding this sort of a wave of sort of illusion that kind of, because when you sort of win those TV shows, everybody around you basically tells you that you're Elvis. And you become this sort of character, and I thought, I knew that because I'd been around the traps, I knew I wasn't Elvis. But everybody around you working for you are either lying to you to get you to do something, or they say, you're the biggest star in the world. You are, blah, blah, and to a 15-year-old kid, you are. If a 15-year-old kid wins these shows, you are the biggest star in the world. If they tell you that, because they're so convincing. So I was just sick of all that shit. I was just like, give me something real. Give me something I can actually hold on to. Where are we at? Give me some real figures. Give me some real, give me some truth. There was none of that, and I just was so sick and tired of it, and I just felt like this fake kingdom that I'd built on this quicksand was going to sink at any moment, so I had to basically sink it before it sunk me. So that's the truth.
Was Sony absolutely fuming when they found out?
No, they were cool, man. And you know what? I'm really good friends with Sony, especially Dennis Hamlin, and he's a great guy, and I actually do really respect Sony Music in a lot of ways, because they just work so hard, and they're just, they're actually quite, when they do something they put their minds to, they do it, and they do it well. But for me, it was just like, it's not me, it's you, kind of, that relationship that just sort of fizzles out in the end because you both aren't working well together. It's not because of anybody's done anything, it's just because I didn't align with what their template was, and they didn't align with what I wanted to do, so we basically just shook our heads and went, all right, no worries. But it's just all the other stuff, all the other crap around. It's not really the Sony sort of thing that goes on. It's all about kind of all the other crap that you get with it, and these people, these hangers on, that kind of all of a sudden appoint themselves as jobs, and they go, oh, I want 20% now, or I want to, and all of a sudden you become sort of, you're working for these guys, for these guys around you that have got these massive egos, and they just want to sort of use you up until you sort of bled dry, and it's just bloody disgusting, I reckon. So, I think a lot of people think, if you make it in the music industry, you're going to be a millionaire and all this sort of stuff. It doesn't work like that, and I think a lot of people are wising up to it anyway.
Lucky for me, I'm not good looking enough or talented enough to win Australian Idol, so that'll never happen to me.
Look, I'm not discrediting anything, but I'm just telling you, that the whole truth behind all of that is just, it's a lot different to what's been sold on TV. And, you know, you see, you know, all these other shows coming on and you know, it's all a bit like you were going to be the next big thing. You know, and it's all rubbish. Like, you don't even believe it for a second.
No.
You know, because it's all about working hard afterwards and figuring out where you're heading, you know. And you know, to be honest, I sort of knew that back then, and that's why I never released a covers record. And, I wasn't singing the 100 greatest trucker songs of the century or
barbecue songs,
you know? yeah, barbecue songs, man. You know, like, no, sorry, I can't write my own music.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, well, just a couple more questions. I'll let you on your way. I know you're a busy man.
That's all right. I'm driving through Armidale right now.
Oh, beautiful. Illegal.
Hands free.
Yeah. All right. Well, this question is: where do you see yourself on both a personal level as well as your career in 12 months' time?
I don't know. My song's about to hit the universities in America.
Yep.
So there's 800 universities over there that we're trying to get on. I'm trying to get the song on. So, you know, I'm always going to be living in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you know, the 5-year plan is to sort of have kids live in Byron Bay and write music, and maybe, you know, I've sort of been really interested in writing film scores, and I've been doing that for a long time.
Cool.
For friends and people that submit their sort of short films, and I've got a lot of friends who you know, create short films and, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, so I don't know, man. I kind of like I'm doing something. I'll be doing something hopefully. You know, if I'm still kicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be definitely there'll be an album out next year, so
cool.
I'll be probably busy doing the record and you know, probably talking to you again and this time next year.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
How many tracks on the album do you think will be?
I would say 12 is probably a healthy number.
Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah. All right, man. Well,
12,
yep, that sounds good. Well, just one last question, dude. This is what I ask to everybody. What advice do you have for all aspiring songwriters and musicians?
As long as it has passion, and as long as it has passion, that's all what it's all about, you know. As long as it's coming from your heart and not your head, and you know, and you believe 100% that you know, that's your art.
Yep.
There's no one can tell you otherwise, because you know whether it's bullshit or not. You know, you can't bullshit yourself.
No.
So, you know, just be real and be happy doing it. And you know, I suppose, you know, if you've got passion, if you've got the passion alive with doing it, then that's all you need, really.
That's exactly right. Well, there you go, guys. Make sure you get yourself a copy of Buffalo Tail's latest EP, Blood and Bones. Check him out at Communion at the TOF on November 25th. And for all the latest news and info, like him on Facebook at facebook.com/Wes Carr. Once again, Wes, thanks for your time, mate. Really appreciate it, and good luck with the rest of your year.
Thanks, man.